What's up gang, thanks for being here today and I hope you're all doing well. In this video I'm going to be playing Terraria. Terraria is a game that I've played for many years, but oddly enough I've never played a class outside of melee. I don't know why, but all the other classes just seem like downgrades to me with their lower defense and less cumulative weapon progression. Melee made sense to me. You get that high defense and swords that combine at a lot of stages in the game, which also eventually leads you to craft the Terrorblade and the Zenith, with the Terrorblade being widely considered the best weapon in the game. With other classes, not only did I think they were weaker, but it was also more about your knowledge on the classes to know which weapons to go for next and which weapons were side grades rather than upgrades. However, with the release of 1.4.5, my eyes were opened and a light was shined on the strength of the other classes, specifically Summoner. The update brought a lot of discussions, videos, and memes that made me open and curious to trying out Summoner. So that's what today's video is going to be about. Join me on my journey to beat Terraria in my very first Summoner playthrough. I hope you enjoy. So this is kind of a bad start for the video because I actually didn't record a bit of the start of this playthrough. We're beginning with me already a little kitted out with a Flink staff and a Flink's fur coat. I already had a decent bit of knowledge on Summoner even though it was my first playthrough because of the fact that I watched a lot of YouTube videos for it. So I did basic exploring for gear, accessories, and life crystals. I also got Sky Island gear by using gravity potions I found at some point, and then I knew to go to the snow biome to farm for Flinkses since they are very popularly known as a great pre-hard mode summon. I learned about the Flink's fur coat simply because I checked the guide on how to make the Flink staff and I saw the coat's recipe right next to it. And lastly, I knew about the cobweb already, so I made it pretty easily from gathering cobweb while I was in the caves. Now that we're all caught up, I can begin talking about what I'm doing here. I had gotten a message pop up about how the Eye of Cthulu was going to be spawning this night, so I was in a rush to make an arena. However, a goblin army? Okay, not what I expected. A goblin army also decided to spawn, which ended up cancelling out the Eye of Cthulhu spawn, I guess. I did look in the recording and yeah, the message is there, but it didn't spawn at all that night. Anyway, I took care of the goblin army and soon after, the Eye of Cthulhu was going to spawn again. Hopefully I won't get faked out a second time. I go and get a bunch of potions to prepare and it actually shows up. I was pleasantly surprised with how well the fight went compared to melee. After beating it, I didn't think I was able to use the Crimtane for anything useful as Summoner until I saw the Vasculash, so that makes my second whip. I fought the Eye one more time after that, and then I went to the Crimson so I could make an arena for the Brain. I got some weird world gen in my underground Crimson, which allowed for this to happen. This is so weirdly shaped. It's because they're both like that. Wow, this is crazy. I continued to make the arena and I took full advantage of all the extra space I was given. I opened it up a bit more with sticky bombs and now I had an absolutely ridiculous size of an arena for this brain fight. I went into this fight very confident because of this extra space, and honestly, all of this space made the fight way too easy. I didn't end up struggling at all. But it was still pretty cool using the whip to handle the groups of creepers and then having my minions auto-lock onto the real brain when there were the 3 fakes. I beat it one more time, and then I used the loot I got to upgrade my tools. While I was exploring underground, a few things happened. A meteor landed, I found the Skeleton Merchant, and I found the Goblin Tinkerer. With the Skeleton Merchant, I bought the roller skates, and I had heard about how busted these things were. With the Goblin Tinkerer, I bought the Tinkerer's Workshop, which let me upgrade my boots and combine the balloon with the blizzard in a bottle. I used some gravity potions to find more Sky Islands and got another balloon and a lucky horseshoe. Now my focus was on Queen Bee. I forgot to use the meteor because I forgot about the new whip you can get from it. But I did get the Snapthorn while I was in the jungle. Fighting the Queen Bee wasn't actually too hard, and I managed to beat her on my first attempt. I tried a second time with a lot of extra confidence, but I fumbled at the end, and I ended up losing. After that sad ending to a fight, I checked what I could make and I foolishly switched from the Flink Staff to the Hornet Staff. I saw a much higher damage number and thought that it was just a straight up upgrade. But, learning from experience, they miss a ton of shots, whereas the Flinxes are extremely reliable. Then I saw that B armor is a major upgrade from my singular Flinx fur coat, and I decided to, also kinda foolishly, upgrade my coat to a B breastplate with the remaining material I had. I should have made the headgear and I would have gotten an entire extra summon, instead of replacing the one piece of armor that already gave me my current summon. With that being said, I went back to fight the Queen Bee again, and I definitely felt the difference between the two summons. The fight went way slower this time. I actively saw a ton of the attacks from the Hornets miss very often. At the very least, I didn't lose the fights, but it was pretty close because of the worst summons, and because I ran out of healing potions at some point early on in the fight. I went on to craft the rest of the bee armor, which finally gave me a third summon. After Queen Bee, I finally got the Starcrasher Whip from the Meteor, and I decided to look for a Digtoise in the desert. I used the Digtoise a little bit for a elevator, but I didn't really have much else to do, so I mostly mined it out myself anyway. I got a bunch of Hellstone with the help of an Obsidian Skin Potion, and I was able to make the Imp Staff. I made a Molten Pickaxe too, and then I reforged my Imp Staff to Fabled using the new Reforge mechanic. After doing some high octane fishing for a balloon, I was able to make the bundle of balloons. At this point, I also thought about checking if the Witch Doctor sold anything new from beating the Queen Bee, which got me the Pygmy Necklace. I don't need platforms. I'll just put these things down. Skeletron was about as hard as I expected, but I rushed in a bit unprepared because I wanted to get a feel for him as a summoner. I got kinda cooked, but I came back way more prepared with potions. And those potions were definitely overkill. I had a significantly better fight this time, and I'm not sure if I just played better or if the potions made that much of a difference. Just jump over him. Oof. Let's focus on the right hand. There we go. Oh yeah, this is going way better than last time. What the freak? Okay, but some of them are really hard to dodge though, like goddamn. Wow, that was way easier than last time, okay? Bro! With the dungeon open to be freely explored, I went down with only two goals. Finding the Cobalt Shield and freeing the mechanic. Yeah. I was completely unaware of the Spinal Tap Whip that you can craft from skeleton bones, so I completely missed it. I found the bound mechanic very fast, which was great. Oh, there's the engineer! Oh, the mechanic, that's what her name is. Yippee, I got the mechanic! I love the mechanic. We all goon to the mechanic. Right, Nama?
Yes.
As I was exploring the dungeon, trying to find the Cobalt Shield, I had a silly realization that I don't know how I forgot about or I just never knew. Ooh, here's my first gold chest. Alright. That's exactly what I was looking for. Almost another chest in the house. Boom, get it! That's an echo shit. Nice. Ow, ow, ow. This one. Just need it now. Oh. What? I died? What? I was low? I died to a spike. Yeah, that's just on me for not paying attention to my health and debuffs. At this point, I started making my mining set since I wanted to look for the shimmer. And it's always such a satisfying thing to see how fast you're able to mine after mining so slow for so long. After a ton of searching, I did finally find the shimmer. I cleaned it up a bit, shimmered a heart crystal, and built some homes for a pylon later. This was also starting the setup for a goblin tinkerer with maxed out happiness. I'm sure there's no need to explain why. With a decently happy tinkerer, I reforged a bunch of my accessories to the best I could and began my attempts on the Wall of Flesh. For the second time in a row, I went into a fight with a mistake. First, I rush unprepared with Skeletron, and now this time, I start the fight by falling into lava without my buffs activated, resulting in me losing half of my health. Not very good. The rest of the fight actually wasn't too bad, except for the fact that I made another severe mistake in unpreparedness.
This is just expert mode, so I don't think it's gonna speed up or anything. Oh my god. What? Oh god.
Yeah, I think you could tell that I haven't played a lot outside of Classic, but hey, cut me some slack. I mostly played back when 1.4.4 was supposed to be the final update. I was much younger, and I think I only played Expert Mode like one single time. I remember doing well, but that was also about 6 or 7 years ago. Anyway, yeah, I'm barely starting to challenge myself with Terraria more, and I'm really enjoying it. On attempt number 2, I remembered to use my buffs at the start this time.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's going fast! Holy shit! It does speed up in expert mode.
I get my new accessory slot, and I immediately shimmer the warrior emblem I got into a summoner emblem. I head down to hammer some altars and get to mining. So yeah, besides the upgraded anvil and the upgraded forge, there really isn't much incentive for summoners to mine these ores, right? With that out of the way, this is when I realized that the spinal tap existed, so I upgraded to it. While I was in the caves, I found what was probably the most significant item in my entire run, and it wasn't even summoner related.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's the dragon egg! Oh my god! I got a regular one, I didn't get any specific color. Oh, that is so cool!
Funnily enough, soon after, I found another Palworld creature.
Oh my god!
Even more funny is that this one was summoner related, and yet had absolutely zero impact on my run. It was pretty cute though.
A Kativa will wear sunglasses too? Oh my god. That is so cool.
I was casually doing some exploring when I got this fun little message on what was about my 3rd day of hard mode. And since there were several messages that popped up at the same time, I happened to miss the most important one. Yay!
What? I am not prepared for this. Whoa!
It goes without saying, I got hella cooked by Skeletron Prime. I later found myself in a blizzard at the snow biome, without knowing that the Cool Whip was actually my next upgrade. I must have known something though, because I decided to farm for some frost cores. I just don't know exactly what my plan was, since I didn't craft the Cool Whip for a while, and I was a bit surprised when I looked at its crafting recipe.
62 summon damage.
Since I was in the jungle, I checked the witch doctor's shop and got myself a bewitching table. As I was in the underground Crimson trying to farm Souls of Night for the Cool Whip, I finally found a spider's nest.
Village?
I found a spider's nest. Let's go.
Not only can I upgrade my armor, but this allowed me to farm for Souls of Night at the same time. After several days of hard mode and continuous use of the Imp Staff, it is time to say hello to the upgrades.
Upgrades, people, upgrades!
Also, when I read the Cool Whip's ability to summon snowflakes, this is not what I expected.
What? That's a massive snowflake, what?
Now onto Queen Slime.
Wish me luck. 3, 2, 1, let's do it.
I don't really know if I consider Queen Slime harder than the mech bosses. I know a lot of people do, but I don't feel intimidated by her as much. And she also offers the Blade Staff as a drop, which I know a lot of people love the Blade Staff, especially since I knew it got buffed in 1.4.5. So yeah, I went for Queen Slime and did pretty good. I'm gonna be honest, I knew a bit about the Spider Staff, and I do remember seeing a video about how they need walls to fully function, but I saw them working fine a few times without walls, so I didn't bother to do any special setup for it. Ooh! Too many projectiles. Hey, I'm handling it though. I'm scared.
You got it. No, you
There's
got it.
projectiles everywhere. Oh my god! I'm getting smacked. Okay, let's retreat a little bit. Oh, I got her! She's dead! Yeah! I got lucky with the Blade Staff, dropping from the first bag, and now I had an insanely good weapon. I knew it was good, but I had no idea how strong it truly was capable of. Later on, I was deep in the mines exploring, when I came across the skeleton merchant again. An aglet! He sells an aglet, it's perfect, yes! I don't know how unlucky I had to be, but I didn't come across an aglet in my entire playthrough until now. It was the only reason why I hadn't upgraded beyond Spectre Boots this late into the game. But it wasn't really that big of a deal because I was using the Chillet anyway. I just wanted to include this because of how crazy it is to not get an aglet for this long. Now let's move on to the almighty mech bosses. I was pretty much as geared up as I needed to be, so I finally started fighting them. The first one I took on was Skeletron Prime for no particular reason. The fight was neck and neck. It was probably the closest and most fun fight I've had in this run so far. It was genuinely exhilarating for the fight to be this even and different compared to melee. It was especially fun because I couldn't tank as much damage as I'm usually able to, so I had to actually get better at dodging as the fight went on. Also, the whip and blade staff was a lot more satisfying to use compared to most melee options at this point too. Okay, I may be in over my head. Oh wow, that was really bad. It's 2 a.m. The night ends at 4 a.m. I need to end this fight soon. I'm doing really good though. I kind of clutched it up. I was doing really bad in the beginning. I need to dodge more. I really need to end this fight. It's 3 a.m. If I don't end it, I did it! I ended up beating him on my first attempt. Yes, first attempt. We don't talk about the incident. And with that win, I was able to upgrade my whip to the Durandal. Another amazing upgrade that made the blade staff significantly better. My next target was the Destroyer, which I wasn't scared of at all. The Destroyer is almost always the easiest mech boss to defeat. I did manage to end up getting hit by its head, which I knew did major damage, but I was still surprised by how much, especially since I got dangerously low. Whoa! Oh, that did a lot of damage. I did not realize he was coming. I recovered from the hit and made sure to pay better attention to where it was coming from. Whoa! Nope. Nice, that was not too bad. With the Destroyer out of the way and me having a decent amount of coins, I wanted to try for a better reforge on my Durandal. I, in fact, did not get a better reforge. Wow, I'm getting horrible ones. At least give me something better than what I had before. Damn. Oh. Wow. Nope, it's just worse now. Now comes the mech that I'm usually most intimidated by. The twins. The twins are my favorite mech boss, but I have always struggled with dodging their attacks, especially spasmatisms. Now, with melee, I didn't have to learn how to dodge, I just had to tank enough damage to win the fight. But for summoner, that was not going to cut it. So I lost my first attempt, and I knew my main issue was that I tried to face tank a ton of hits that I should have avoided instead. In pursuit of better gear to handle the twins, I tried beating Skeletron Prime again for enough hollowed bars to make the hollowed armor set. But I lost. So, let's just go in for attempt number 2 on the twins. This time, I still made wrong decisions that got me hit a ton, but I realized and learned how I was wrongfully positioning myself throughout the fight. I was staying low and trying to dodge upwards when changing directions, which made me get hit a lot. Instead, I thought that I should stay high and drop down, which allowed for an easier way of transitioning between directions. In between this attempt and the next, I had a solar eclipse happen, which didn't give me much, but I was able to get a lot of coins so that I could do this.
Oh my god.
At the very least, my prefix didn't end up worse than it was before, but still. At last, we arrive at my third attempt against the twins. I was fully locked in and prepared to handle the fight better this time. I put my idea of changing how I was moving to the test, and it worked wonders. I was dodging attacks so much better, and I was able to take out Spasmatism. With only Redenizer left, the fight was pretty much over, and I finally defeated all 3 mechs. The jungle grows restless. With chlorophyte growing in the jungle, I craft the pickaxe axe and upgrade my mining gear to the hard mode version. I get a metric ton of chlorophyte to craft the armor set with the visor, which I learned was just added in 1.4.5. And then I decided to go fishing for water walking boots, since it was the only thing left for me to be able to craft Terra Spark boots.
But for now, let's finally make these fuck-ass shoes! So we need to make one of these, and then we need to make one of these, and then one of those. Epic!
Before we continue with the video, you guys need to see this.
Oh shit, bro! Seagull! No! Damn!
Rest in peace, little friend. Thank you guys for paying respects. I'll continue with the video now. Without much else for me to upgrade, I summon Plantera. I forgot to keep my buffs in my inventory, so I tried to get them from my piggy bank really quickly. It didn't work out, so I just bit the bullet and continued the fight without them. I thought I was gonna be cooked, but I was actually handling her pretty well.
That's a lot of projectiles, goddamn. Oh my goodness. Wow, I may have doubted myself a little too much. I'm chilling. Wow.
Since fighting jungle bosses usually unlocks something from the witch doctor, I head over to see if he sells anything new. I find the tiki armor and buy it immediately. I make my way to the buff dungeon to explore, and I discover a new whip.
Oh my god. 270 damage?
Damn.
That is a really cool whip, even if it is really slow. Then I find the desert and crimson chests. I didn't use the vampire knives, but I grabbed it anyway since I had the key for it. Also, it was amazing that I got the desert key in this run since I wasn't actually farming for it. That little tiger is cracked out of its mind.
Alright. Let's see how he does. Oh, he just one-shot that guy. That's a good sign. Okay, he's pretty fast, too. Oh! Oh, he's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good damage.
I remember hearing that the Desert Tiger staff wasn't really worth it, so I had low expectations, but I personally loved it. Maybe it was more of a point about it not being worth the grind, and it would be worth it if you don't end up grinding for it, like in my run. I could understand that take. I start planting pumpkins so I can take on the Pumpkin Moon, because I heard that Spooky Armor was considered the best endgame armor for Moonlord. I also read that Tiki Armor is still a great alternative due to safer whip range and defense, but I think Spooky Armor is still more popular because of the significant damage boost. The Pumpkin Moon event wasn't hard at all. I thought it was going to be much worse because I remembered struggling with it on Melee in Classic difficulty, but it felt significantly more manageable in this run. I made it to wave 15 by the end of the night and defeated 5 pumpkins.
Pumpkin, please die! Yes! I killed him just in the nick of time!
Now, I did not know about the necromantic skull until a little later, and I forgot about the witch's broom for a minute like a little dum-dum, so that's why I said this after it was all over.
But I didn't get anything useful besides the spooky wood. I didn't even get the crow staff or anything.
Literally about a minute later, I remember that the witch's broom exists and finally replaced my chillet with it.
Witch's broom. I might have to let go of the chillet.
Thank you, Chillet. You were the absolute GOAT. Something funny about being able to fly now was an animation that the Desert Tiger does, which reminded me of a little something.
Let's LARP.
All joking aside, I get a bunch of potions ready for Fishron and begin the fights.
Let's see how this goes.
The Witch's Broom is decent enough to handle the first 2 phases with a good enough movement, and I'm doing pretty well, chewing through his health with my goated little tiger. However, I made the mistake of underestimating expert mode again.
Second phase? How will this go with him in second phase? He doesn't do a third phase in expert mode, right? Oh my god, okay, he's fast.
Duke Fishron?
Yeah. I am currently fighting him in space.
Oh,
He has a third phase! I'm cooked!
oh. Yeah.
I'm fucked!
No, you got it. Oh, you got it. Yes.
I'm fucked! I wasn't planning for a third phase. I thought his third phase was in master mode only. Oh!
Defeated, I summon the Pumpkin Moon again, to see if there's anything more I can get and to farm the Raven Staff.
Holy shit. He just went like fucking... the thing from Cyberpunk. Damn. Is that a Raven Staff? Oh my god, that's a Raven Staff. I think that's better than my current one. 100 summon damage!
I thought it would be better, but in hindsight, I don't think it's really all that good, especially for Duke Fishron.
There's another Raven Staff.
Hello, your
A
computer
wyvern?
has virus.
I destroyed that thing.
Maybe I'm tripping, but this pumpkin felt like he was zooming compared to the other ones I was fighting.
Why is he so fast? Oh my god!
Anyway, I felt much better prepared for this next attempt at Duke, with the Dark Harvest that I just got from the Pumpkin Moon and the knowledge of the third phase. Overall, I think that the Raven Staff made the fight mostly harder. The birds were just too slow and only hit him here and there for little bursts of damage. I definitely wouldn't use it again. Eventually the third phase came, so I tried so hard to lock in. And lock in I did. I felt great after that win. So I tried to farm him a bit more for the new electric eel whip. I knew his attack pattern better, so surely I have little to no issue. Okay, I'll just reforge my blade staff, craft the minion accessory that I forgot I could, and even make the spooky armor set. Duke Fishron is surely cooked now. Wow, how did I do so well on that second attempt? This time I'll bring back my trusty Chillet. Maybe that insane dash would make a significant enough difference.
I did it! Holy shit! Oh my god, I actually did it! Holy shit!
Yeah, maybe the Chillet is just that good. I didn't get the whip from that fight, so I summoned him again and got it this time.
1, 2, 3. Oh my god.
The electric eel is very cool. The sound it makes, the visual effects, and the actual strength of it all make it an amazing whip. It isn't overpowered or anything, but the potential of getting this sooner in a run compared to me is what makes it so incredibly valuable. Now, I did fight Golem after Duke, but I didn't get much of anything from it besides the pick saw and unlocking the Martian event, so I never bothered recording his fight. I really should have. That's my bad, guys. I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to trust me. With the Martian Madness event available, I sought out a Martian probe to begin it. My eyes were set on a Xenostaff, probably from seeing it in the wiki. I had no idea how powerful that staff was going to be. It is an amazing summon.
Oh my god. This is seeming so incredibly better already, and it's not even reforged to a better reforge either, holy shit.
With that done, I reforged the Dark Harvest and the Xenostaff, since I knew they were going to be used on either the Moonlord or Daytime Empress of Light. At this point, I really wanted to try going against her, because she's pretty much the ultimate challenge for summoners to obtain what is arguably the best summon in the entire game. We're not fully there yet though, so I go to the dungeon to take out the Lunatic Cultist. The cultist goes down as easy as expected, and I start practicing a YouTuber strat against the Empress of Light. This strat was definitely made from a lot of their experience though, because it required very precise little movements that I just couldn't get down.
Well, it's a good thing I practiced first.
I was committed to beating daytime Empress of Light. I started farming prismatic lacewings, and I had something happen that I knew was possible, but I'd just never seen it before.
Interesting.
I continued practicing against the Empress at night, and I decided to head to the underground jungle. I found a Plantera bulb and managed to get the axe. Light work, no reaction. I fished for variegated lardfish so that I could finally be able to make summoning potions. And now I was as prepared as I could be. Except for the fact that I still actually haven't had a fight where I no-hit her. So I spent quite a long time on a new journey mode character and world to practice fighting her more often. After a few days of that, I finally felt very confident to face her on my real character. This was the strat that I used from what I learned about her through videos and personal practice.
I did it, gang. I did it. Holy shit. Let's go.
That is such a cool optional boss in this game, and now I can have bragging rights that I beat her during the daytime. With Terra Prisma acquired, I reforged it to Fabled, and I could now flex my shiny new sword collection. There was nothing in the way of the Moonlord at this point. I set up a little spot for me to pick up hearts and built a home to heal with the nurse. Let's do this. After I fumbled the beginning of a horrible start, not having the recording ready correctly, causing me to not have my minion summoned, and being in a just horrible starting position for this whole fight. Yeah, that was pretty bad, and it especially doesn't help that I also used all of my fragments to craft a boatload of super healing potions. Time to run it all back.
That one does. Okay. Nice. Focus it. Ow. Holy shit. Ow. Oh my god, that jump scared me, bro. Those are really annoying. Ow. What the fuck? Goddamn, chill. Holy shit. It's like they're getting all aggressive all over. What was that? What is going on? Alright, for real this time, let's do it.
We're finally back. This time correctly prepared and the recording going correctly. Wish me luck.
Ow, oh wow. Okay, I need to get out of harm's way. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, if I could switch to the other side. Oh, I only need the top eye. Oh, if I could get up. Oh my god, okay. Oh, I need a heal so bad. I am doing horrible at dodging. Oh, fucking... What the fuck?
Whew, that one was a lot better. I was still struggling with positioning and dodging, but I learned a lot from it. This time, I made sure to start moving in a direction right before he spawned so that I could be at a much better starting position. Third time's the charm, right?
I'm gonna choose one direction. I'm gonna go start to the right, probably. Ow. Ow. Okay, we dodged that. Oh my god, that does damage. Oh my god, that does damage. Okay, I need to really keep track of like what damages me and what doesn't damage me. This is insane. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. I can't get the heal. I can't. Nope. Fuck that. I'm just gonna keep my distance. Okay, can't get too far. Okay. Holy shit, dude!
The Moon Lord has fallen. Now, at this point, I was just trying to get the new possession whip and collect the final drops for the Stardust gear. So that's what's happening in the background. Man, what a fun ride this has been. Summoner is actually so insanely strong for damage, and it was nice to experience the class that is probably the most different from Melee because of the super low defense. My next playthrough will probably be Ranger since I want to make sure that I play all of the classes now. Mage has really cool looking weapons too, but I'm not sure how complicated it'll be due to the mana management, which makes me a bit hesitant to try it right now. Anyway, Summoner was so much fun and I would definitely recommend it. Solid 10 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.